July 11th, 1302. The sun is setting over a muddy field in Flanders, and the silence is heavier than the heat. It is a silence broken only by the wet, sucking sound of boots pulling free from the muck and the low, rhythmic groans of the dying. Lying in this bloody clay is the finest army in Christendom, Duke, Count Marquis. Titles that commanded absolute power yesterday are now just meat for the carrion birds. They came here to crush a rebellion of shopkeepers. They expected a rout. They expected a massacre. And they got one. But it wasn't the peasants who died. Lying here, face down in the filth, is the invincible heavy cavalry of France, their armor shattered, their bodies twisted. And walking among them are men with dirty hands and simple weapons, bending down to rip the gold from the heels of the dead. This is the story of the Battle of the Golden Spurs. The day an army of weavers and butchers broke the back of the French Empire and changed the art of war forever. To understand why thousands of knights lie dead in a ditch, you have to understand the rage that put them there. Flanders in 1302 is not just a county, it is the industrial engine of Northern Europe. The cities of Bruges, Ghent, and Ypres are medieval powerhouses, turning English wool into cloth and cloth into staggering wealth. But the King of France, Philip the Fair, looks at this wealth and sees only a tax base. He doesn't just want their money, he wants their submission. He occupies their cities, installing a governor named Jacques de Châtillon, who treats the proud guildmasters like serfs. He calls them blue nails, a slur mocking the blue-stained hands of the woad dyers. He thinks they are subhuman. He is wrong. Resentment boils in the cramped alleyways of Bruges until the night of May 17th. In the dead of darkness, the blue nails rise. Led by a weaver, Peter de Koning, and a butcher, Jan Breidel, they move house to house with long knives and a terrifying question. They grab the sleepy French soldiers billeted in their homes and demand they say a phrase in the local dialect, shield en vrienne, shield and friend. It is a linguistic trap. The French tongue cannot master the hard, guttural snap of the Flemish language. If a man says skilled, he dies. By dawn, 2,000 Frenchmen are butchered in the streets. The Bruges Matin is not a riot. It is a declaration of total war. King Philip's response is immediate and apocalyptic. He does not send a diplomat, he dispatches the Iron Fist of France, Robert, Count of Artois. Robert is a prince of the blood, a veteran of the Crusades, the ultimate aristocrat. He is fearless, aggressive, and utterly contemptuous of the enemy. He rides north with 2,500 noble knights, the tanks of the medieval world, and thousands of crossbowmen and infantry. This is not just an army, it is a demolition crew designed to flatten rebellion. Against them stand the Clawwerts, the men of the claw. 9,000 craftsmen, weavers in quilted jackets, butchers with arms like tree trunks. They have no cavalry, they have no heavy plate, they have only their guild banners and a terrifying resolve. The Flemish commanders, William of Jülich and Guy of Nemours, know they cannot fight the French on an open field. To do so would be suicide. So they choose a kill box. They deploy outside the town of Courtrai, on a plateau called the Groeningekouter. Behind them flows the river Lys. It is a deliberate choice. There is no retreat. They will win here, or they will drown here. But their real weapon is the ground in front of them. The fields are crisscrossed by streams, the Groeningekouter and the Grootbeek. The Flemish deepen the ditches. They flood the meadows. And then they cover the traps with brush and dirt. They turn the battlefield into a hidden swamp. And then they wait. They do not just have a trap, they have a tool, the Goedendag. The good day. Some say it is a dark joke, how you greet a Frenchman before you kill him. It is a 5-foot club of ash wood, topped with a brutal steel spike secured by an iron ring. It is simple, it is cheap, and it is nasty. It functions as a spear to stop a horse and a mace to crush a helmet. In the hands of a strong man, it can snap the neck of a warhorse or cave in the skull of a knight. Combined with the long pikes of the front rank, it turns the Flemish formation into a porcupine of steel. July 11th, high noon. The heat is stifling, baking the men inside their armor. The battle opens with the thrum of bowstrings. The Genoese mercenaries, the best crossbowmen money can buy, unleash a storm of bolts. But the Flemish pull back, sheltering behind the ridges of the streams. The French infantry moves forward. These are professional foot soldiers, and they navigate the mud well. They cross the brooks, they engage the Flemish line, and they begin to win. They push the weavers back. The Flemish line buckles. Victory is right there for the taking. And that is the problem. Robert of Artois, watching from his high horse on the ridge, sees his common infantry about to win his battle. His pride cannot take it. The glory of crushing these peasants belongs to the knights, not the footsloggers. He makes a decision that will echo through history. He sounds the trumpets. He orders his own winning infantry to fall back. He clears the field for the charge. Montjoie Saint-Denis, the cry goes up. 2,500 knights, a wave of steel and horseflesh, spur their mounts into a gallop. They expect the peasants to run. They expect the ground to be firm. They are wrong on both counts. The earth trembles as the charge gathers speed. The knights lean into their lances, eyes locked on the Flemish banners. They are screaming for blood. But as the front rank hits the line of the streams, the world falls out from under them. The brush gives way. Horses plunge chest deep into the hidden mud. The momentum, the very thing that makes a knight deadly, vanishes instantly. The front rank dissolves into a screaming tangle of broken legs and drowning men. The ranks behind them cannot stop. They are pushed forward by the weight of their own charge, crashing into the backs of their fallen comrades. It is a traffic jam of death. And then the Flemish wall moves forward. The weavers and butchers step into the mud. They do not fight like knights. They fight like workmen. Pikes hook the riders from their saddles, dragging them down into the filth. And then the Goedendags rise and fall. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The chroniclers said the sound of the battle was like 1,000 blacksmiths hammering on anvils. It isn't the clash of swords. It is the sound of steel clubs smashing expensive armor. The knights are trapped in the press, unable to swing their weapons, their horses bogged down, their armor weighing them down in the slime. They are helpless. Robert of Artois, realizing his mistake, leads a desperate second charge. He fights his way into the melee, a lion surrounded by wolves. He is a magnificent warrior, but magnificence means nothing here. He is isolated. His horse is killed under him. He rises from the mud, sword in hand, but he is surrounded. He tries to surrender. He offers his sword. He shouts that he is the Count of Artois, that he is worth a fortune in ransom. But the Flemish have their orders. Geen gevangenen. No prisoners. A lay brother named Willem van Sijftinge, a giant of a man who left his monastery to fight for his people, steps forward. He does not care about ransom. He swings his weapon. The Count of Artois, the cousin of the king, dies in the muck, beaten to death by the people he despised. His golden armor is dented and stained, indistinguishable from the rest of the dead. Panic spreads through the French lines. The reserve, seeing their invincible leader fall, turns and runs. The hunt is on. The Flemish pursue them for miles, cutting them down in the fields and the river. As the sun dips below the horizon, the silence returns. The battlefield is a graveyard of French nobility. The Constable of France is dead. The Marshal of France is dead. The Count of Artois is dead. Over 1,000 knights lie slain. The victors walk among the corpses, ripping the golden spurs from the heels of the knights. 500 pairs. They carry them back to hang in the Church of Our Lady in Courtrai, a glittering tapestry of humiliation. From this day on, the world knows that the knight is no longer invincible. Arrogance is the most fatal flaw of all, and the underdog, when cornered, bites the hardest. Until next time, keep your shield up, and if you enjoyed this history, please like and subscribe.